5:15.
Marla, thank you so much. 5:02 right now. Happening today, we'll be one step closer to finding out who is paying what and how much when it comes to the Cherry Grove dredging project there in North Myrtle Beach. Tonight at 7 o'clock is the City Council's final reading of an ordinance to establish a special assessment district for that dredging project. If it passes, property owners along the Cherry Grove canals will get notice of just how much they'll owe for that project. That notice will also give specific instructions on how to challenge the assessment if you feel it's unfair. The city's two-part project includes 2 dredges over the next 10 years at a cost of $16 million. The South Carolina Department of Transportation will close the left lane on the northbound stretch of I-95 over the Great Petey River. That's happening at 7 o'clock tonight. It's expected to be closed for about 23 days in all. All lanes have been reopened, but just for the Easter holiday to prevent traffic congestion, the speed limit in that area has been reduced to 45 miles per hour. Once again, the work to repair a lot of damage on the road's surface. Of the hundreds of active warrants the Horry County Sheriff's Office serves every single week, deputies take particular time and interest in tracking down domestic violence suspects. Katrina Helmer is live with why deputies are focusing so much attention on these offenders and not others.
Well, South Carolina ranks second in the nation when it comes to homicides resulting from criminal domestic violence. So a lot is at stake when these warrants are passed off to the Horry County Sheriff's Office. They tend to be tougher cases to track down the suspect, or the suspect tends to be more violent. So here's what you can do in order to help. First, take a look at 54-year-old Craig Talbot. He is one of many wanted on criminal domestic violence charges. The victim told police that he got very angry, pushed her to the ground, grabbed her legs, yelled he'd break her foot, and slapped her. Talbot then ran off as the victim called 911. He was last seen in the Loris area. Now, another man wanted right now is 23-year-old Keontae McGee. The victim told police as she was driving McGee to the store, he took her phone, punched her in the head, tried to pull the keys out from the ignition as she was driving, grabbed the wheel, trying to run the car into a ditch, and finally walked away. McGee was last seen in the Conway area. If after a couple of days trying to serve these warrants, like these, and the police department hit some roadblocks, the warrants are then passed on to the sheriff's office. The officers then spend a lot of time to track these offenders down. They start by going to family and relatives of the suspects, where the incident originally happened, and places of employment. Lieutenant Steve Cox says many times they will find the suspects back at home where the assault first happened.
We rely on the citizens of this county to let us know if they see somebody on TV that's wanted for any charge, but importantly, criminal domestic violence. If they'll let us know where they are, we'd love to get those.
Now, if you have any tips that could help track down either of these 2 criminal domestic violence suspects, go ahead and give the Sheriff's Office a call. They were both first featured in our suspect search last week, so if you want any more details on either of these cases, head to our website, WMBFnews.com, and click on the Crime tab. Reporting in Horry County, Katrina Helmer, WMBF News.
Katrina, thank you for that. A woman has now been charged after a fatal crash in Marlboro County. Troopers say 21-year-old Rebecca Kraus was driving north on Highway 38 near Daniels Lane on Sunday afternoon. That's when she hit a paved median and then ran into a cyclist. The cyclist died from their injuries. The victim's name has not yet been released. Kraus is being charged with reckless driving. That crash remains under investigation. Also in Marlboro County this morning, 2 people facing charges after police say they busted a meth lab. McCall police say they found that lab after a tip from a citizen. Eric Izzard and Laura Matthews both being charged with 1 count of manufacturing meth and 1 count of possession of heroin. SLED agents were called to dismantle and remove that lab. They left with supplies to run what they called a shake and bake meth lab. A fire near the J&J cafeteria in Conway now under investigation this morning. It happened last night on Beatty Street. The restaurant experienced some smoke damage, we're told, but no one was hurt. Conway Fire and Horry County Fire Rescue helped put out those flames. New this morning, we're hearing from neighbors after a shooting leaves 1 North Carolina mother dead. They say it all started when Cameron Phillips shot Alyssa Mackey several times. Mackey died from her injuries at a local hospital a short time later. One of her children was found at the scene and is now in state custody. They believe Phillips took the other child when he left the area.
And to see it happen on Easter Sunday, when it's supposed to be a nice time,
everybody celebrate, you know, the Lord's work and the Lord's rising. So it's touching, I mean.
Phillips was then found dead hours later in an apartment of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There has been no sign of Mackey's other child. Police are currently searching for that child this morning. There are 16 job openings up for grabs in Florence County. Some include a paramedic, secretary, engineer, even a correctional officer. Applications are being accepted through the Florence County Human Resources Office. If you don't know, that's on North Irby Street. For a complete list of all the openings, including descriptions and salaries, head to WMBFnews.com. We put that information for you on this story under the local tab. If you were out and about this weekend, you probably noticed a lot more people were here in the Grand Strand. Many hotels and restaurants even bringing in extra staff to keep up. According to a study at Coastal Carolina University, hotel occupancy, yes, this early in the season, was at 82% for the holiday weekend. Another reason we're seeing so many people, lower gas prices. In fact, South Carolina, one of the lowest in the nation, averaging about $2.10 a gallon. AAA representatives expect the prices to drop even lower as we continue moving through the summer. New details this morning as we are getting a better idea of just how the Affordable Care Act is impacting your tax refunds. The law offers tax credit so people without a job-based health insurance can actually get private coverage a little bit cheaper. But they are tied to your income. An H&R Block representative says for those who got more of a discount for their health insurance than their income would allow, they had to repay what they say was an average of $530 this year. Those who overstated their incomes and didn't get health insurance discounts they deserved received an average of $365 with their tax refund.